going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. What's going on with you? How you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. Another day of rest. I'm enjoying
Yeah,
this Sunday, man. It's raining here, kind of cool. So, just enjoying the downtime and the rest. And then, we'll be back at it for another progressive and busy week.
yeah. This year over yet, man? This we got 2 months. We got 2 months left.
Yeah, we just hit November 1st, man. This is great. It's almost over, but it's probably gonna blend in together because we ain't gonna have no resolution to this COVID. Um
Yeah.
20
Well, I'll wait until everything smooths over, and then
we got election day in 2 days, so we'll see if anything manifests.
right.
We're gonna be still at we're still gonna be quarantining, we're still gonna be social distancing, so
Yeah, no doubt.
it
Did you
is.
do anything? Did your kids do anything for Halloween yesterday?
No, they went out.
Nah.
We went. My wife went out this morning and got some discounted candy.
Oh, see, there we go. Somebody was listening. November 1st. That's when you make it happen, baby. That's
Yeah, we're not going out here, man. The neighbors had, it looked like they had like a party or something. Or
uh-huh.
they definitely was parked in my driveway. So
Oh yeah.
didn't even, I'm like, man, see, this is the problem here. Now this why our case is rising.
Hey, exactly.
Not listening. So what you get into anything?
I got into the bed.
Yeah, I
I
feel
went.
you.
I went to sleep.
Feel you. I definitely indulged in some relax. I guess the brand is called Relax. It's some wine, whatnot. It's kind of dry, but
Yeah.
it was it put me to sleep. I started watching this I guess it's a show that came out back in 2017 with John Claude Van Damme. It's called John Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah. I watched that.
So,
It's pretty funny actually.
yeah, I started watching it last night. I fell asleep on the second episode, but I think it's something that can entertain me.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, bro. It's actually pretty good. I remember watching it.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good.
And I'm probably gonna watch it when I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch episode 2 and continue to indulge until I find something else to do. I'm not really doing much today. I always try to take Sunday and just restore and rest or whatnot. So you know.
That's what's up. No, I feel you. I feel you.
So we got a question um from I actually got this question on TikTok, which was random, but they wanted to know how can they lose their stomach and have a more defined abs and more specifically obtain the V cut.
That V cut. Oh, that's maybe not the V cut part, but the one of the more common questions in the fitness realm is, how do I lose my stomach? How
Mhm.
do I get rid of this body fat? How do I get rid of this baby weight? Whatever you want to call it, dad bod, beer belly, whatever umbrella. Um, yeah, man, that's one of the more common questions. So the first part of it is, which I think we touched on before, which is the most important part of any healthy lifestyle or regimen program, whatever you want to call it, is in fact the diet, what you're putting in your body. There's a phrase that they say, abs are made in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't outwork a bad diet. Whatever slogan you want to apply to it is applicable. So that's the first thing before you do anything else, is to make sure that your nutrition is on point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Without getting into specifics about, specific diets or, so on and so forth. Just some more common sense things. If you are eating sugars and sweets and candies, cut it out. If you are consuming, and this is subjective, if you are consuming excess amounts of alcohol, you do want to try to reduce that as well. Definitely want to reduce that. Avoid, fried foods, processed foods, and just think about what you're putting into your body, and not only what you're putting into your body from the content perspective, but making sure that you're eating, throughout the day. You're not going long periods of times without eating and skipping meals and stuff like that, because those things can work against you as well.
Right.
So I know you're definitely big on the nutrition part. What can you speak to as far as like that piece of it?
Well, I'm just like you were saying, definitely attacking the diet first. You think about let's touch back on what you were saying. You were saying the key word is reduce. I think a lot of the misconceptions come in where people think they have to cut out sugar or cut out drinking or whatever. Reduce, right? You still can enjoy the types of food and things that you enjoy when it comes to your diet. Is just a matter of being mindful of what you're putting in your body, and then just making sure you're in a calorie deficit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the key thing, because if you're I'll take it away from fitness for a minute. Let's I like finance. I like money. So if you're spending more money than you're making, right? So let's say the money that you're spending is going to be the amount of calories that you're burning versus the money that you're making, which is going to be the calories that you're inputting in your body.
Right.
You're spending more than you're making, then you're going to end up with a negative balance, right? So same concept applies. If you are putting in, if you're burning more calories than you're putting in, then you're going to over time see a weight loss.
Right.
Now you will find yourself at a point where you are going to need to find activities that are going to help you with burning those calories or burning excessive calories, I'll say. And I think another one of those misconceptions is going to be a cardio based diet. Now, doing anything is better than doing nothing.
Right.
We do see a lot of people and have heard a lot of people, and it's common where people want to go running or think that running 10, 20 miles on a treadmill, they should be seeing significant amount of weight loss or significant amount of calories burned. But honestly, that's not the optimal way to do it. You want to speak more on that, bro?
Yeah. Before I get to that part, I wanted to real quick just kind of go back to the nutrition piece of it,
Okay.
because and tie in the exercise. Exercise is a tool to, if you're trying to lose weight, then exercise is just a tool to help you create that deficit that you spoke about
Yep.
in the beginning. So when people look at exercise, that's why exercise should work in tandem with your eating and your nutrition. So that's why, and I only say that because when I have conversations with people, workout is always like the number one priority of the conversation, or it seems to take precedent in the main topic of the conversation.
Yes,
And
I do. Yep.
nutrition takes a back seat, when it should be kind of the opposite. Nutrition should take, the front seat, because, I tell people working out is almost like going to like a doctor's appointment or a DMV. Even if you hate it, you'll sit in an hour and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You still have the rest of your day that you have to be mindful of what you're eating and what you're putting in your body. Okay. So, when you think of exercise, you think of that as a complement to help you with that caloric deficit in terms of losing weight, and by product of weight, losing body fat as well. And the second piece, real quick, is making sure that you have a healthy deficit, because I think that's another thing that people think about as well, is when they try to quote unquote go hard, or try to, a realistic, safe way of losing weight, or a safe number as far as like a weekly thing.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people 1 to 2 pounds is a safe space to where you have a deficit that's not putting you in starvation mode to where your metabolism is slowing down, but it's still allowing you to have some measure of progress throughout your week to week, month to month basis.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people, because if you look at like the math of it, some people will say, well, if I have to burn more than what I eat, then I just won't eat, which is not good.
Right.
Because now the deficit is so wide to where your body's not going to go into starvation mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens there? Your metabolism slows down.
Yep.
You're not, using the bathroom like frequently and like as you should be doing. Your body gets dehydrated and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick and then get into the second part that your actual question. So with weight loss, cardio is kind of labeled as one of the best ways to burn calories because of keeping your heart rate up, so on and so forth. But I think that cardio has a lot of different faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people typically associate it with, the treadmill, the bike, elliptical, Stairmaster, running, so on and so forth. And those things are correct, but that's not where it ends. Cardio is really anything that's going to get your heart rate elevated, which could be a multitude of things. I think one of the more popular things that have kind of been in the fitness community as of late has been HIIT training, circuit training, whatever you want to call it, where you're doing high intensity strength training exercises for a set period of time with limited amounts of rest. So basically, you're doing a lot of work within a short amount of time. It keeps your heart rate elevated, and you're burning a lot of calories throughout the workout and beyond the workout as well. So that is one of the more popular forms today of, not only burning calories, which would in turn be losing weight, burning fat, but you're also, kind of in the process keeping your metabolism up and by building that muscle through those strength training exercises. So yeah, it's cardio, but it has a different face, or it has different faces. It's not just what we kind of have boxed in cardio to be. So
with that, and you made some great points. Because definitely, HIIT training is something that I personally enjoy. But we talk about, different types of exercise, because that's typically what is going to, that's typically the question that individuals are going to ask, well, what I got to do in order, or what exercises I got to do in order that's going to target those areas of the stomach.
All right. So when we actually get into the exercises, there's two things. Number one, you really should be working your core every time you strength train. And what I mean by that, and you can speak to this as well, is most exercises, when you're doing your form check, as far as like your proper form, proper technique, 99% of the time, tight core, tight abs, keep that core tight. And what that is doing is if you're doing a squat, that's going to help you to protect your lower back, help you to keep your chest up as you're squatting. If you're doing a deadlift, and core is not just your front, your abdominals and obliques. Core is also kind of, think of like a belt. Think of like a belt. It goes around your body. So when you're doing deadlifts, and I know you know that, I'm just kind of saying that for the audience. When you're thinking of deadlifts, keeping your back straight, again, keeping your chest up, keeping your core tight. Those exercises, you're engaging your core, even though you don't think about that from a, what's the primary muscle groups involved in that exercise. But you're always going to be, or you should be, engaging your core in just about everything that you do. You know what I mean? So
that's what that's what I try to explain to people. There are indirect and direct exercises that will work your core, but you want to focus on the indirect, because first of all, people need to understand, what the core does, the function of the core. All right. The core is really provides a balance to your upper body and your lower body.
Yep.
It protects your spine, protects your posture. It's the focus. It stabilizes your posture, right? So when you're doing squats, when you're doing deadlifts, you're doing bench press, you're doing shoulder presses, any type of pressing, any type of strength training, you should be working your core anyways, right? So you'll see a lot of people, like me personally. Yes, I do core exercises directly, but I don't put forth the amount of effort in core exercises as I would say the bench press or squats or deadlifts, right? Because my core is already taking taking a beating and getting worked out while doing those exercises anyway. So technically, if I have to get technical, I work my core every day, right? With everything that I do, I work my core. We also know that when you're one of the biggest issues when it comes to lifting and training anyways, a lot of people have issues with the lower back, right? Which means you probably have to strengthen your core anyways.
Right.
When we're talking about direct core exercises, the main thing that people tend to go to, which I think is another misconception, is the sit-up or the crunches, right? I would say do your research. This is, I think this is where you have to find what works for you, because some people, the setups, like me personally, like sit-ups doesn't bother me. I actually don't even care for the setup itself because it doesn't give me the range of motion that I feel directly impacts the abs for me. So I have to do something like a decline setup, or I'll have to do things like V ups or heel crunches, heel taps, flutter kicks, planking.
Yeah, I was gonna. You beat me to it.
Yeah.
I think for me, and this is for whether you're a beginner. I think, well, especially if you're a beginner, but even if you're a little bit more advanced in your fitness journey, and you would consider yourself a avid gym goer, planks are planks for a reason.
Yep.
I think planks are one of the most, effective exercises for strengthening your core. It's an isometric exercise, basically meaning that you're pretty much holding that position for a set period of time. You can do, front planks or your standard plank. You can do side planks, which I think are also amazing. And the other one for me that kind of directs more of the front, the abdominals, is just a static leg raise hold. You just lay on your back, put your feet up about maybe 30 to 45 degrees, tuck them hands underneath that lower back, tighten that core, and just hold it. And then you start with a number that you're comfortable with. So I would say if you do one set of, and this can apply to planks as well, really anything that you're holding it for a specific period of time. So let's say you do one set and you're able to hold it for 45 seconds. So that's like your max, right? So what you do is, okay, so now you're going to break that up. So let's break that up and say, okay, we're not going to do 3 sets of 45 seconds because you probably won't be able to do that. But you can start with, 3 to 5 sets of 20 seconds and then get that volume in from those shorter time frames, but you have more sets. So you end up actually doing more. And then over time, of course, you could build that up to 25 seconds, 30 seconds, so on and so forth. And, I think people, in terms of ab exercises or abs in general, well, this is not even just for abs, but I think, like we talked about, for some reason people like to overcomplicate things and make it super flashy. Like, you can't just do a plank now. You got to do, you know, you got to put a log in the water and do a plank. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's just not enough to just do your. Now, yes, of course, you can add different things to your planks.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to add instability, I love doing Bosu ball planks. I do that for my clients. I have my clients do those a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Bosu, whether you have your forearms on the ball or your feet on the ball, I kind of prefer the forearms. I think those are great because it adds an element of instability.
Yep.
And then, if you want to put it beyond that, if you have two Bosu, and this is if you have access to the equipment, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you have two Bosu balls, one flat side up, forearms on the top of the Bosu ball, and for your feet, round side up, put your feet on the ball, and you got yourself an adventure.
Yep. I think another thing, we go back to previous episodes where we talk about the community, right? So this is one of them things where if you get into the community or you're following like fitness pages, and I'm not talking about the super men and women, the super fitness people,
the fitness Avengers, yeah,
fitness Avengers, yeah. We're talking about just there's tons of fitness people within the fitness community. They have different ways that you can go about attacking and stuff like that, and they have different challenges and stuff out there that you can be a part of.
Right. And one real thing, like I said, I want to kind of keep this not too specific, but from my experiences with clients, I get a lot of clients. Well, let me not say a lot. I've had several clients before who have had C-sections. Okay. So with C-sections, their situation is a little bit different, and crunches can actually be detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
So in those situations, they would need to be doing like isometric core exercises, i.e. a plank. You can do, like I said, the static leg raise hold, side planks. You can do wall sits, and you want to kind of draw your back into the wall, tighten that core. But isometric exercises for those individuals would be far more beneficial than trying to do crunches and sit-ups, because that's only going to kind of I don't want to say aggravate, but of course, because they've had surgery in that area, crunches are not really the best thing for them to be doing. So I would say in those situations, for people who are listening, you do have to kind of understand, I guess, what you like when you think about how you want yourself to look. Crunches and like just like with any other muscle. If you work the muscle, it's going to grow. Now, if you don't want your abs to bulge out, then you probably would want to kind of stick with more isometric style exercises and things where you can stay lean. But if you're crunching and doing things like that, using weights and resistance, just like with any other muscle, that muscle is going to grow. And you may find that your waistline is not really going anywhere because your core muscles are actually growing. So, that's another thing as well that you will want to consider when you're doing when you're training your abs. And just if you're looking at from like a aesthetic standpoint, as far as like how you want to look, those are things that you want to consider as well with your regimen. And I know we talked about I think the question was like the V cut.
Mm-hmm.
What's also connected with that is the hips. So, that's going to be like a lot of, leg raises, knee tucks, stuff like that as well, to kind of, again, working that lower abs, lower abdominal area as well. So when you're trying to get a certain look, you have to kind of consider, okay, what muscles are in that area. So you have your lower abdominals, you have your hip flexors that's right there in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And even like there is a difference between a leg raise and a reverse crunch, depending on how you do it. So if you're doing a leg raise and your butt is not coming off the floor, then you're essentially just kind of working your hip flexors. Now, when you want to get your lower abs involved, you got to get that butt up off the floor. You got to get that butt, just like when you sit up from the top, how you round your upper back to do sit-ups, you want to try to round your lower back to do crunches for the lower abdominals. So those are things as well that I think people, have to try to understand. And again, I want to try to keep things as simple as possible, but just kind of think of, what your body is going to be doing to try to get the most out of that muscle group, as far as like certain movements you should be doing and things of that nature. So,
okay. So what exercises do you do? We said, I know you like the Bosun ball with the plank. I know you said leg raises. What else do you do?
So so you asked me specifically. Okay. So, all right. Cause I was going to give like a general, but no, I'll me specifically. So I like to do rotational things that engage, like I said, the core as a whole. So either that's going to be oblique twist if I'm, seated on the floor. If I'm standing, I like to take the barbell and do some landmine twists. Again, similar movements. It's a rotational movements that, again, you're getting your abdominals as well as your obliques. So that's probably one of my favorite exercises as well. I like to do rollouts either with the ab wheel or barbell rollouts. And again, this is one of those that really kind of engage the core as a whole, especially as you start to really, really try to level your body out to come out. You have to take into account your lower back. Again, I even squeeze my glutes as I kind of come out into the rollout. So that's a really good one for me that I like. And I keep it simple, man. Like I don't do like 50 different ab exercises. Hanging leg raises.
Yep.
That's another one for me. And of course, you can go right down the middle. I can go, bring both feet to one hand and then alternate. But that's honestly, those are probably like the three that I would do, the three exercises I would do. I wouldn't be doing because like you said, most of my core training is in conjunction with the compound movements that I'm doing on different days anyway.
Right.
So, which is another thing. I don't want to keep this too long, but people got to be careful too with trying to overtrain your abs, just like with any other muscle group. If you overtrain it, then you're doing the same disservice as if you were doing, bicep curls every day or chest press every day.
Yep.
You got to allow your body to, you got to allow those muscles to recover. Like I tell people, treat your abdominals like you would any other muscle group. You do want to monitor the volume, but don't overdo it.
Yep.
Don't overdo it. And like I said, and more often than not, it ain't the workout, it's the diet.
Yep. Go
hard with that. So again, we circling right back around to the first part, because again, none of that stuff's gonna matter anyway. You could do 100 crunches a day. It ain't gonna matter if your diet's not together. So, pay attention to that piece of it first, then circle back to, the exercises.
I agree. So for those that have asked me personally what I do, so I'll tell you what I do. So just like Jay said, the main thing for me is my diet. I know Jay is plant-based. Me, I'm part-time plant-based. I'm plant-based one. I'm a reservist.
You clock in once a month, huh? You clock in once.
I'm a reservist, plant-based. I
get it. I feel it.
2 weekends out the month.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah, so I'm part-time right now. I'm building up to being full-time just right now.
Hey, seasonal now, Doc. Seasonal. We need extra hours from you.
So I do pay attention to my diet. That's always been the biggest thing for me, and I think even from episode 2. Matter of fact, probably throughout this whole all our episodes, I've always mentioned about my diet, and that probably been the most difficult thing for me um, out the gate that I had to contend with, because I was such a junk food eater, and I didn't eat vegetables and none of that stuff. So, once I began to try new things, and then just doing my own research, and just figuring out, the right foods to eat at the times to eat in, and understanding, a little bit about macros and, things of that nature. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just have to, figure out the thing that's going to work best for you. Even just trying one thing new a month, I recommend that. Um, just try
Yeah.
just try one new thing, or cut out one thing that, like sodas or red meat or something. Just cut it out, and then just begin to focus on, strength based training. Um, I recommend finding, a weekly program regimen that you can stick with. And then, as far as the exercises that I do, is for core workouts. Like Jay said, I typically focus on my core during my compound exercises, which is going to be your bench pressing, your squat, your deadlifts, your pressing, anything with press. Most exercises you're doing, you're going to have to have some type of core stability, and that's where you're getting that indirect core workout. But for core exercises that I do, I give you my favorite three. If I'm in the gym, I'm typically going to do a decline sit up, because the decline sit up allows me to get that full range of motion, allows me to stretch my abs and my core, plus my hip flexors, as well as my quads are all involved. And with doing that decline, I typically like to add a rotational twist to it. Um, so that's one. I would do the hanging leg raises, or I would do I forgot what it's a crunch. It's just a hanging knee crunch, right? I'll do that, and then I would do the Russian twist, or the oblique twist, right?
Yep.
If I'm at home, it's the Russian twist. It's the heel taps. So you're laying flat on your back with your knees bent, and you're touching the back of your heel, but you're coming up into like a little crunch. It's going to keep that. It's going to keep that contraction on the core, on the abs. And then I like to do it varies between, it's either going to be bicycles, which will allow for me to get that rotational twist while involving my hip flexors, as well as the flutter kicks. So flutter kicks is going to work all my lower area of my core.
I just came up with an idea. So when we post the snippet to the Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
I think we should add like additional snippets of I'll do my favorite ab exercises, like just like 3, and you
Mm-hmm.
you can do yours, and we'll
Okay.
throw that on there for the people.
Okay. So
For
I,
the people,
I do the ones I do at home, because I don't
yeah.
never record. Well, I haven't recorded myself in the gym in quite some time. So
Nah, I think that would be a good touch though, to kind of give people another visual to what we were speaking about. So
oh, that works.
yeah,
All right, bro. I think that was a good capture of, I think, a good amount of information to that person's question, and
sure.
hopefully the information that we gave will be able to help not only that person, but anyone else who's been wondering and struggling with how to eliminate the stomach area, because I know, I understand, we get that question all the time. I get calls about it or whatever, and they always like, I just want to get rid of this, or everything else doesn't. I mean, it seems like everything I do, it just doesn't help this area. We get it, It's just be patient as well. I know a lot of people are so rushed to get to those results. You got to be.
One thing about body fat, that stomach area is like that tenant that don't want to leave, and you got to put them out.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna say, "Hey, get the cops over here." Then you want the cops? They're gonna have to throw me out. I'm not leaving. Like you could lose body fat. You could lose your arms. You could lose like your back fat, but that stomach fat area, no, they ain't leaving without a fight. Mm-hmm. So, which is why, and I'll say this, and we can wrap up, but this is why consistency is such an important thing, because certain parts of the body is just, there's really nothing that you're doing wrong. You just have to keep doing it.
Yep.
You just got to keep going. And that's frustrating for people, because like, damn, my arms is right, my legs is right. You know what I'm saying? I see my muscles everywhere else, but right there in that midsection is a pain.
Yeah.
But that stomach fat is just that. It's a pain in the butt.
And ladies, you ain't gotta hide it. Okay, I see you always covering. Part. It's who you are. Love yourself. All right. Hey, love yourself. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Until next week. You have a safe week and continue to be what is it? What's the right word? Not progressive, but what's the right word?
Be productive.
Productive.
There we go.
I don't know why what's going on with me today? Nah.
It's all right. It's all right. You need that rest, brother. Day of rest. You need that.
I'm about to go get right back in this bed and enjoy the rest of this restful day.
Yes, sir. That's all right, man.
So, all right, bro. Be easy.
All right. I'll see you. Peace.